The man appointed by President Carter to run the FBI was William Webster. When confronted with the guidelines laid down by Attorney General Levy, Mr. Webster expressed satisfaction with them, claiming that they would clarify and simplify the task of the FBI. And simplify they did. Between 1973 and 1979, the number of continuing internal security investigations at the FBI dropped from over 21,000 to 147. That's a reduction of more than 99%. The number of special agents assigned to this work had been reduced to 143, an incredibly small force considering that during that same period, the number of KGB agents under diplomatic cover and operating as journalists or businessmen had grown to almost 2,000. In other words, there are about 14 times as many KGB agents in the United States as there are FBI agents to thwart them. And this is counting just foreign personnel. It does not take into consideration the much larger group of agents with American citizenship, which also is part of the Soviet underground. The CIA also has been weakened by administrative policies established at the top. Between 1964 and 1975, the intelligence operations staff of the CIA was cut back by 40%. Then in 1977, President Carter appointed Admiral Stansfield Turner as director of the CIA. After assuming office, Turner further emasculated the agency by firing 900 of the most experienced intelligence officers that remained. The intelligence agencies of friendly governments abroad are now hesitant to share information with the CIA or the FBI because their confidential documents could be given to the very people who are named in them. This as a result of the Freedom of Information Act. The threat of assassination of CIA officers in other countries, triggered by such organizations as Philip Agee's Covert Action Information Group, has made it difficult to recruit new foreign agents abroad. The morale of the agency is now at an all-time low. Even if a decision were made today to reverse all the crippling policies, it would take many years to rebuild an experienced, efficient, and high-morale intelligence operation. Although protecting the country against its enemies is a function of the federal government, state and local police agencies also have a legitimate interest in subversion, particularly as it may lead to acts of local insurrection or terrorism. And so these agencies also have come under heavy attack from the ACLU and the National Lawyers Guild. The tactic has been to raise the cry of police spying and to institute lawsuits designed to force these agencies to destroy their files and to stop the surveillance of communist activities. In 1973, for example, the New York City Police Department was forced to destroy 80% of its files relating to internal security, including information on Puerto Rican extremists. 2 years later, the Puerto Rican FALN terrorists exploded a bomb in Francie's Tavern, killing 4 and injuring more than 50 people. And on New Year's Eve, 1982, they exploded 4 bombs in Lower Manhattan and Brooklyn. The FALN has claimed responsibility for more than 100 bombings in the previous 8 years that have killed or injured scores of Americans. Had the New York police been able to continue the surveillance of violence-oriented groups, it is possible that this carnage could have been prevented. In Chicago in 1979, during a trial in which radical leftists were suing the police for investigating them, allegedly because that was a violation of their right to privacy, the federal judge ordered the police to turn over their files on the FALN terrorists to the attorney representing the radicals. The attorney, Jonathan Moore, was a member of the National Lawyers Guild, and 3 of his law partners were members of the above-ground branch of the Weather Underground organization. These files included police analysis of FALN bombing patterns and predictions of future targets which were to be given extra police protection, everything the terrorists needed to know to counter the police. In April of the following year, copies of these police files were discovered in an FALN hideout in Milwaukee. Confidential police files show, among other things, the sources of information, including informants and undercover operatives. Even when the names of these people have been omitted, often it's easy to determine by other data in the files who the informant is. This results in that person being expelled from the group under investigation, or in some cases, exposed to the danger of